All right, so the next document we're going to talk about is the power of attorney. You may have heard this before, or maybe have some experience with it. Typically, we see this crop up a lot later on in life when people have diminished capacity. They might appoint a power of attorney as one of their children to help them make decisions. But essentially, the power of attorney is somebody that is authorized to act in all financial matters for you. So if you are unable to do so, they can act for you. So again, later on in life, like maybe you have parents, right, that are getting there and they're starting to lose a little bit of capacity. Maybe they're alone, maybe their spouse has died and they're losing capacity. And so they need somebody to help step in to make sure that the financial decisions really are in their best interest. That's what a power of attorney would do. Now, spouses typically would be each other's power of attorney. And then after that, there might be others listed there, like backups. There is a difference here between durable and non-durable, though. So this refers to the scope of what they can do under certain conditions for you. So essentially, if you have somebody sign a power of attorney that is durable, then they can generally act in your behalf without you present, right? They can sign documents and make moves while you're still alive. If you become incapacitated, so you really lose all of your faculties, cannot make decisions for yourself for any reason, a durable power of attorney can continue to make those types of decisions for you. Okay, it's durable, meaning it endures beyond your own capacity. Again, if you have a parent that has diminished capacity and they're getting to the point and it's getting worse, maybe they have Alzheimer's or something like that, and it's getting worse to the point where they can't make any decisions on their own, a durable power of attorney would be able to make decisions for them while they still have their faculties all the way through when they kind of lose their ability to make decisions, and it would continue beyond that. Okay, so they can make decisions for the rest of their life. A non-durable power of attorney can't. It stops there once the person is incapacitated. So they generally cannot make decisions after that point. Okay, so up until that point, they might appoint a non-durable power of attorney. They can make decisions together. They can make different moves together. But as soon as that person becomes incapacitated, then that power of attorney is revoked. Now, within the power of attorney, you can grant broad powers, like they can handle all financial matters, or very specific, you can limit the scope of what they are able to do. Okay, so you can kind of spell this out however you'd like. Right now, right, when you're young and just getting stuff in place, typically, again, if you're married, you would be each other's power of attorney. You likely are not going to use this document, hopefully ever, but it's important to have in place so that if something happens to you, your spouse can come in and act for you. Or if you're not married, a close family member, like a trusted family member or friend, could come in and act for you if necessary. So that is power of attorney. One example of this, I'll just share. So there was one point where I had clients, two sisters. They were older in age, not very old, but middle age. And one got into an accident. Okay, and she was single. They were both single still. She got into an accident and was in the hospital for a long time. And she was unconscious for a good period of time. She eventually came out of it and kind of made a full recovery, thankfully. But she got in an accident and was incapacitated. Her sister was her power of attorney. And so when there were medical bills to be paid, her sister was able to access money in her account to pay medical bills, right? And to continue treatment. She was able to access the bank account and continue to pay other bills, right? Like utilities, and make sure the mortgage was paid and all of these other things that keep up on all the other obligations while her sister was unconscious. It was very fortunate that they had that in place and were able to take care of that. And then her sister recovered and all was good. So that's a situation that could happen, right? It does happen. It's not very likely, but it could happen. And that it's important to have somebody that can handle your financial matters. Again, this might be a different person than the guardian of your minor children, than the trustee of your trust. Maybe that's the same, maybe it's different. So totally dependent on what you want and how you have it structured. Okay, that wraps up the power of attorney conversation. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Taking control of your future starts one document at a time.